Today we are going to make the vase to hold our tulips. Here's my lovely little bouquet there. This is the vase we'll be making. It's a box, but it tapers down to the bottom, so the bottom is thinner, flares up as it comes to the top, and it has a nice sturdy rim. So that's where we're headed today. Now I recommend you use your stiffest sheet of paper you find, and I'm going to choose a sort of burnt orange color because I want it to look kind of like a clay pot, you know? But I would choose something, the sturdiest piece of paper you have. If your piece of paper is like this one where it's colored only on one side, start with the colored side down. And I would recommend you have on hand a pencil, particularly if you're using a smaller sheet of paper than I've got here. It'll come in handy in a little bit. Start by folding your piece of paper precisely in half. There we go. Wonderful. Open that up and fold it exactly in half on the other diagonal. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Open it up. Now, don't turn it over. And fold this straight up. Top to bottom, right in half, making sure our edges and our sides line up. Open it, turn it, and do the same thing here. Now open that back up and fold it along one of the diagonals. Now we're going to fold it in half this way. So I'm going to take this left point here and match it up to this right point. So all the way over. There we go. Crease it down. Now, you have a couple pockets here as a result of that. And if you open up one of those pockets, you should be able to just let that flatten right down into a square. Flip it over. I'm going to fold this up. I'm going to fold it all the way across first, like a shark fin. Then you can easily just flatten that down. All right, and again, if you've done origami before, this is the water bomb base. Now, we're going to determine how wide our bottom of our vase and the top of our vase are going to be. So this portion here that has just these fins, that's the bottom. These with all the little flaps here, that's going to be the top. So starting at the bottom, I'm going to fold that up, and whatever measure I make along here, that's going to be the width of the base of my vase, or the base of my vase. Now, what I would do if I were you is once you've made that crease, turn it over and make the same crease in the other direction. That'll help you later on. Okay, there you go. And then unfold it. We're done with that for now. Now, I also want to determine how wide my vase is going to be at the top. So I'm going to fold this, just this one flap down. And I want the edges of the top here to stick out farther than that edge down there. So I'll fold it to about there. That looks good. That looks good. Just eyeball it, whatever you want. If you want a deeper vase or if you want a shallower vase, just fold it farther. Okay? Flip that over. Take this one, and you can just see the edge of the one you did, so you can use that as a guide. Make them the same size. It's right through that gap there. All right, good. Now, open that back up, turn it over, open that back up, and we're ready to move on. Now, you have a point here. I'll mark that for you. You have this point here, which represents the edge of the top of our vase, and this point here that represents the edge of the bottom of our vase. I want you to fold this, take this tab here, you're going to fold that so that this folded edge runs from the top mark down to the bottom. Oh, a little further, bottom mark. There we go. Just like so. And we'll do the same thing on this side. We want the crease to run from that point down to that point. So, there, oh, that's too far, far too far. Now, you should have pretty good symmetry left to right. These should look pretty much the same. And I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go with that. All right. Now, flip the whole thing over. And I'm going to do the same thing the other side. And now I can use this folded edge as a guide there. So I can just fold that straight away just like that. And fold this. There we go. Just like that. Now, if you're using a smaller sheet of paper for this next step, this is where a pen or pencil could come in handy. Because what we need to do, we need to lift that flap up and then open up that pocket. And I have trouble doing that. Oh, there we go. Good, 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 good. And if you want to stick a pencil in there to really open it up, because what we're going to do now, we're going to mash it flat. And when we do, we want this center line here to line up with the middle. So it's perfectly equal. There you go. Look at that. Okay. Now we'll do the same thing to this one. So I'll pop that up. There we go. And I will fold that and mash it flat. Excellent. Excellent. Turn it over. We'll do the same thing with these two. So there's that one there. I'm going to open that up. Yeah, I want to open that up just like I say. Come on. Okay. And folding that flat. And finally, this one here. So now both sides look like that, like that. Take this entire flap right here and hold it up so that you can take this squashed part you just made and fold it back upon itself. So it was sitting out like that. You're going to fold that back upon itself and then mash that nice and flat. So this one here, I'm going to hold this up so that I can fold this right along that crease back behind itself. There we go. Flip that over. Hold this up so I can fold that right along itself back behind that crease. And the same thing here. Fold it right back behind itself. There we are. Okay, excellent. Now, this is going to represent the opening of our vase. So we're going to fold this down. And we're not going to fold it on this fold we made earlier. I want to go a little farther. When I fold this over, I want it to go down so that the crease runs from about that point to that point. So I'm going to fold it a little further than before. Okay, mash it flat, open it back up. Okay, that might have been, no, that's pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to take this point and fold it down to the crease I just made. Now take this top edge, fold it down to the crease I just made. And then one last time, I'll fold that whole thing completely over. And you can see by doing it as far as we did, it's going to help hold these flaps down when we're finished. Turn the whole thing over. And we'll do the same thing with this flap on top. So I'm going to fold it down further than my initial fold, the crease you already have there. I want it to match the back side there. Open that up. Now fold it down to the crease you just made. Fold this folded edge now down into the crease you just made. You can see mine sort of sticking out there. Doesn't matter, because when I make this fold, it's going to be covered up anyway. There we are. Wonderful. Now pick your whole thing up here and pry open these two here, because what we're going to do now, we're going to fold this in half and fold this one in half. So that I have access to the other two sides we haven't dealt with yet. We're gonna do the same process. Gonna fold this down, match it up to my other two, open it up, fold down to that crease you just made, take this edge, fold it down to that same crease, and fold the whole thing over. Turn it over, same thing. Fold the whole thing completely over. Open it up. Fold this down to the crease you just made. Fold this top edge down to the same crease. And fold the whole thing over. Now we're now pretty much done. Now it's just a matter of just opening it up. Open it up and sort of mash it down on the bottom there. If you don't have a nice sharp line there, just go ahead and take a moment, sort of pinch that and fold it. Ours looking pretty good here. Okay, look at that, a terrific little vase. Tapers as it goes up. Looks kind of like, like a clay pot. Sort of, kind of, not really. It's made of paper. And you can use all sorts of stuff. You could put some M&Ms in there, and yum, 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 whatever you want. So there you go. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for your time.